Uniswap value equivalent to 226.05 rands a coin. The present cost range, 215 any 230.91. The earlier day close, 222.48. The change was plus 357, plus 160%. Reverse rate, ZAR to Uni. Uniswap cost expectation for July 2024. At the outset cost at 158 rands. Excessive cost 196, while low cost 158. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 174. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 183, change for July 15.8%. Uniswap conjecture for August 2024. At the outset cost at 183 rands. Excessive cost 227, while low cost 183. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 201. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 212, change for August 15.8%. Uniswap cost expectation for September 2024. Initially cost at 212 rands. Excessive cost 212, while low cost 181. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 200. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 195, change for September 8%. Uniswap figure for October 2024. Initially cost at 195 rands. Excessive cost 213, while low cost 185. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 198. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 199, change for October 1%. Uniswap cost expectation for November 2024. To start with cost at 199 rands. Exorbitant cost 216, while low cost 188. The found the middle value of cost 201. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 202, change for November 15%. Uniswap estimate for December 2024. To start with cost at 202 rands. Exorbitant cost 250, while low cost 202. The found the middle value of cost 222. Uniswap cost gauge toward the month's end 234, change for December 15.8%. Uniswap cost expectation for January 2025. In the first place cost at 234 rands. Exorbitant cost 250, while low cost 218. The found the middle value of cost 234. Uniswap cost gauge toward the month's end 234, change for January's end %. Uniswap gauge for February 2025. In the first place cost at 234 rands. Excessive cost 248, while low cost 216. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 233. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 232, change for February's on 9%. Uniswap cost expectation for Walk 2025. First and foremost cost at 232 rands. Exorbitant cost 232, while low cost 200. The found the middle value of cost 220. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 215, change for spring 73%. Uniswap figure for April 2025. Before all else cost at 215 rands. Excessive cost 215, while low cost 181. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 202. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 195, change for April 93%. Uniswap cost expectation for May 2025. To start with cost at 195 rands. Exorbitant cost 217, while low cost 189. The found the middle value of cost 201. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 203, change for May 1%. Uniswap conjecture for June 2025. At the outset cost at 203 rands. Excessive cost 251, while low cost 203. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 223. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 235, change for June 15.8%. Uniswap cost expectation for July 2025. Initially cost at 235 rands. Excessive cost 235, while low cost 191. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 217. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 205, change for July 12.8%. Uniswap figure for August 2025. Initially cost at 205 rands. Excessive cost 223, while low cost 193. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 207. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 208, change for August 15%. Uniswap cost expectation for September 2025. Before all else cost at 208 rands. Excessive cost 242, while low cost 208. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 221. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 226. Change for September 87%. Uniswap conjecture for October 2025. Before all else cost at 226 rands. Excessive cost 271, while low cost 226. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 244. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 253. Change for October 11.9%. Uniswap cost expectation for November 2025. In the first place, cost at 253 rands. Exorbitant cost 275, while low cost 239. Found the middle value of cost 256. Uniswap cost gauge toward the month's end 257. Change for November 16%. Uniswap estimate for December 2025. First and foremost, cost at 257 rands. Exorbitant cost 319, while low cost 257. Found the middle value of cost 283. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 298. Change for December 16%. Uniswap cost expectation for January 2026. Before all else cost at 298 rands. Excessive cost 298, while low cost 254. Arrived at the midpoint of cost 281. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 273. Change for January 84%. Uniswap figure for February 2026. Before all else cost at 273 rands. Excessive cost 296, while low cost 258. Arrived at the midpoint of cost 276. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 277. Change for February 15%. Uniswap cost expectation for WARC 2026. At the outset, cost at 277 rands. Excessive cost 301, while low cost 261. Arrived at the midpoint of cost 280. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 281. Change for spring 14%. Uniswap conjecture for April 2026. At the outset, cost at 281 rands. Excessive cost 300, while low cost 260. Arrived at the midpoint of cost 280. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 280. Change for April's on 4%. Uniswap cost expectation for May 2026. In the first place, cost at 280 rands. Exorbitant cost 280, while low cost 239. Found the middle value of cost 264. Uniswap cost gauge toward the month's end 257. Change for May 82%. Uniswap conjecture for June 2026. At the outset, cost at 257 rands. Excessive cost 279, while low cost 243. Arrived at the midpoint of cost 260. Uniswap cost conjecture toward